All right, so get this. You ready to explore some of the most fascinating languages around the world?
I am.
Buckle up because today we are going deep on a few. Hungarian, Cusco's whistled bird language, Welsh, minority languages like Cornish, French, Esperanto, and even Xhosa.
Wow.
Yeah, so we'll uncover what makes these languages so captivating.
Well, it's pretty amazing how these languages actually reflect the cultures and histories of their speakers. Each one offers, I think, a really unique lens through which to view the world.
I'm all about expanding those linguistic horizons, so let's kick it off with Hungarian.
Okay.
Now, it's known for its complexity, boasting a whopping 35 cases.
That is a lot.
That's a whole lot of grammar to wrap your head around.
It's true. If you ever took Latin, remember those cases like nominative and accusative?
Yeah.
Well, Hungarian takes that concept to a whole new level. And then you've got the word order, which is incredibly flexible, almost like a puzzle where you can rearrange the pieces in countless ways.
And here's where things get really mind-blowing. You can actually create a whole new word just by combining prefixes and suffixes in Hungarian.
Oh, wow.
Imagine building a whole sentence worth of meaning into a single word. What kind of impact do you think that has on how Hungarians think and communicate?
That's a great question. This, what's it called? Agglutinative structure.
Agglutinative.
Yes, agglutinative structure allows for really nuanced and precise expression. I mean, a single word can convey an idea that might take a whole sentence in other languages. It really makes you think that Hungarians may have a totally different way of conceptualizing and categorizing information than, say, English speakers.
Now that's fascinating. Okay, let's shift gears to a completely different type of communication. A whistled language. It's nestled in the mountains of Turkey. Have you heard about that?
I have. High in the Turkish village of Cuscoy, shepherds have developed this really unique whistle bird language to communicate across vast distances.
Yeah.
It's pretty remarkable. It's a real testament to just human ingenuity and how we can adapt to these, challenging environments.
Yeah, it's almost like something out of a movie. But sadly, this incredible language is facing extinction as modern technology replaces the need for whistling,
Right.
and younger generations just aren't learning it as much.
Yeah, it's definitely concerning. The annual Bird Language Festival in Cusco is trying to raise awareness and is really encouraging the younger generations to kind of pick it up and carry the torch.
Yeah.
And it was also recently recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. So that's a big deal. It really underscores the importance of preserving these unique forms of communication.
It does. It's a powerful reminder that even the most seemingly isolated forms of communication have global significance. Now let's journey to a language known for its notoriously long words. Welsh. Have you ever heard of Llanfair Plael Gwing Gogerichrichurin Groblin Salego Gogok?
Of course. I mean, who hasn't? It's that ridiculously long place name.
Yeah.
You know, that 58-character behemoth actually translates to St. Mary's Church in the hollow of the White Hazel near a rapid whirlpool and the Church of St. Tacilio near the Red Cave.
Wow.
And it was, actually it seems that it was originally concocted as a publicity stunt to attract tourists back in the 1860s.
Really?
Yeah, that's what we say.
That's pretty clever marketing.
It is.
But beyond the humor of the long place name, there's a deeper story here. I mean, this name reflects a love for descriptive language, right?
Right.
And a deep connection to the land, both of which are integral to Welsh culture.
It's true. Sadly, though, Welsh, like many minority languages, is also facing a decline in speakers. Back in 1850, about 90% of the Welsh population spoke the language, but that number is much, much lower today.
It is. It makes you wonder what can be done to preserve these linguistic treasures. Speaking of which, let's dive into the world of minority languages.
Okay.
What about a language like Cornish, which is spoken by just 3,000 people in the UK?
Yeah, learning a minority language like Cornish, it may seem daunting,
Yeah.
but it's incredibly rewarding. Think about it. You're not just learning a new way to communicate. You're actively helping to keep a whole culture alive.
It's almost like joining a secret society dedicated to preserving a piece of history. But there must be some challenges, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There are fewer resources available, so you may need to be more resourceful and creative in your learning approach. But the rewards are immense. And you connect with this community of speakers, you gain a deeper understanding of the culture, and ultimately you're contributing to the preservation of this really unique way of seeing the world.
Sounds like a pretty incredible experience. Plus, according to a World Wildlife Fund study, there's a strong connection between language extinction and the loss of ecological knowledge.
That's an important point to bring up. When a language disappears, we don't just lose words.
Yeah.
We lose an entire understanding of the natural world that is embedded in that language.
Mm.
So preserving minority languages really does help protect biodiversity and cultural heritage.
Okay, now let's switch gears to a language that needs no introduction. French. It's the sixth most spoken language globally, and it consistently ranks high on the list of most attractive languages.
It does.
Why do you think that is?
You know, the allure of French, it goes far beyond the borders of France.
Mm.
You can find these vibrant French-speaking communities in Quebec, French Polynesia, Luxembourg, Madagascar, Martinique, Senegal,
Mm-hmm.
even Switzerland.
Wait, Switzerland. I had no idea that they spoke French there.
Oh, yeah, they do. And it's not just any French either. It's Swiss French.
Oh,
It's got its own unique regional variations and linguistic quirks.
that's so cool. It makes me want to travel the world and experience all these different flavors of French. Speaking of unexpected languages, let's talk about Esperanto.
Okay.
Now, this is a language that was intentionally created.
Right.
It's different from those that evolved organically over time.
It is. It was designed by Ludwig Lizers Zamenhof in the late 19th century with a really specific goal in mind: to create a universal language.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he wanted to foster peace and understanding between people from different cultures.
That's a pretty ambitious goal. So how did he go about creating this universal language?
Well, he drew inspiration from a variety of European languages, particularly Latin, which formed the basis for Esperanto's grammar and vocabulary. And the idea was to create a language that would be relatively easy for speakers of European languages to learn.
That makes sense, but it also raises an interesting question. By drawing primarily from European languages, wasn't that kind of unintentionally creating a bias, making it more challenging for speakers of non-European languages to learn?
That's a valid point. You know, it really highlights the difficulty of creating a truly neutral language. However, you know, despite its limitations, Esperanto has experienced kind of a resurgence, especially in these online communities.
Really?
Yeah. So perhaps Zamenhof's vision of a world united by a common language is finding new life in the digital age.
I love how technology can connect people across these linguistic barriers. All right, get ready for a linguistic experience unlike any other. Xhosa, one of South Africa's official languages, and Nelson Mandela's native tongue.
Yes. And famous for its click consonants, which are integral to the language. You may have seen Trevor Noah demonstrate those clicks on his show.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Those clicks.
I love those. They always sound so intriguing to me. So can you tell me a little bit more about how those work?
Sure. There are three main categories of clicks in Xhosa: dental lateral and post-alveolar. Each one is produced differently, involving a really complex interplay of the tongue, teeth, and palate.
So it's not just about making clicking sounds, it's about mastering these intricate movements of the tongue and mouth.
Exactly. And on top of that, you know, Xhosa is a tonal language,
Mm.
so the pitch of a syllable can completely change the meaning of a word. So, yeah,
Wow.
pretty complex.
That's impressive. Sounds like a real challenge to learn, but also incredibly rewarding.
It really highlights the diversity of human languages and how each one offers a unique window into a different culture and way of thinking.
Makes you appreciate the sheer variety and ingenuity of human communication, right? I mean, we've covered a lot of ground already. We've talked about intricate grammar, whistled languages, and even endangered tongues.
We have.
Out of all these languages, what stands out to you the most?
It's hard to choose just one.
I know, right?
They're all so fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm particularly drawn to the idea of a constructed language like Esperanto.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This idea that someone could create a language from scratch with a purpose to foster global unity. It's just really fascinating to me.
I agree. I mean, there's something inherently hopeful about it. But, you know, we also touched on some of the challenges of creating a truly neutral language. Like Esperanto, it has its roots in European languages, so it inadvertently created some barriers for speakers of other language families. So do you think it's possible to design a language that truly transcends cultural biases?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Language is just so deeply intertwined with culture and history.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to imagine one that's completely free of bias. But, that being said, all these efforts to develop and refine constructed languages, I mean, they're really pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible. So who knows? Maybe one day we will see a language that actually achieves a greater level of neutrality and accessibility.
That would be incredible, to witness a truly universal language. Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit. We've talked about the complexities of some of these languages. Do you think anyone can learn any language? Or are some people just naturally gifted?
Well, I think while some people may have a natural aptitude for languages,
Yeah.
I believe that anyone can learn a new language if they have the motivation, the effort, and the right approach.
Yeah.
It's about finding those methods that work best for you and embracing those challenges. I mean, it's part of the fun, right?
So it's not about talent as much as it is about tenacity.
Exactly. Think of it as a mental workout.
Oh, I like that.
The more you exercise your language muscles,
Uh-huh.
the stronger they become. And remember, language learning is a journey, not a destination. It's about constantly expanding your horizons, embracing the beauty of human communication.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
It really speaks to the importance of perseverance and a genuine love for languages. So what advice would you give to someone who's feeling inspired to learn a new language?
Well, first of all, I would say choose a language that speaks to you,
Yeah.
that you're interested in.
Yeah.
Is it the sounds of Italian that captivate you? The grammar of Japanese? Or the cultural richness of, say, Arabic?
Yeah.
Passion's key.
Passion's key, totally. It makes the learning process so much more enjoyable.
Absolutely. Once you've chosen your language, explore those resources that are available. There's so many online courses, language exchange programs, and immersive experiences out there. It's incredible.
And don't forget the power of immersion. Travel, movies, music, connecting with native speakers.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
The more you surround yourself with the language, the more you'll absorb it naturally. It's about making the language come alive and finding ways to kind of integrate it into your everyday life.
It's like unlocking a secret door to a whole new world of experiences and perspectives. We were talking earlier about the importance of preserving minority languages, not just for diversity, but for the cultural heritage and knowledge they embody.
It's true. When a language dies, we lose a unique way of seeing the world, a connection to our collective past, a wealth of knowledge that's been passed down through generations.
Almost like losing a piece of the human puzzle.
It is. And it underscores why it's so important to support language revitalization efforts and celebrate the diversity of human expression.
We often take for granted the power of language to connect us, but also to divide us at times.
Right.
Learning a new language, though, can help to bridge those cultural divides and foster understanding.
Oh, absolutely. Language can be such a powerful tool for building empathy and breaking down stereotypes. It allows us to step into someone else's shoes and see the world through their eyes. It's a good reminder that despite our differences, we do share a common humanity.
I think that's a beautiful sentiment to reflect on. And as we delve deeper into this discussion, I'm curious to hear your perspective on another fascinating aspect of language. What about slang? Informal expressions. How do those trends shape the way we communicate?
Oh, slang's a fascinating phenomenon, constantly evolving, reflecting current trends, social attitudes, even technological advancements. A lot of it actually emerges from subcultures and marginalized communities as a way to express identity or create a sense of belonging.
It's like a secret code
In a way, yeah.
that only certain groups understand.
hmm But what's really interesting is that slang often finds its way into mainstream language, which kind of shows the dynamic nature of communication.
I've noticed how quickly new words and expressions pop up on social media, and then all of a sudden they become part of everyday conversations. It's amazing how language adapts to the digital age, isn't it?
It's a testament to our innate creativity
Yeah.
and our desire to connect in new ways.
So while some may view slang as, improper, ungrammatical,
Right.
it's actually a vital part of language evolution.
Exactly. It injects vibrancy, dynamism into how we communicate. And
Yeah.
who knows, maybe some of today's slang terms, they'll become tomorrow's standard vocabulary.
Right.
Language is never static. It's always in flux, always changing, reflecting the world around us.
I love that perspective. It really reminds us that language is alive. It's breathing.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's switch gears again and explore another, I think, intriguing aspect of language. Accents. What can we learn about a person, a culture, from the way they speak?
Oh, accents are fascinating. They reveal so much about a person's background, their origin, their social class, even their personal experiences. They're like sonic fingerprints,
Yeah.
unique markers of identity.
I find it so fascinating how even within a single language, there can be so much variation in pronunciation and intonation.
It's true.
Like, think about the different regional accents you encounter in our country.
Right.
I mean, each one tells a story
They do.
about the history and culture of that specific region.
Yeah.
It's like a linguistic tapestry, woven together with threads of history, migration, cultural exchange.
That's beautiful. I love that.
But, accents can also evoke these strong emotional responses. They can trigger feelings of nostalgia, familiarity, and even prejudice sometimes.
It's true. We do tend to make judgments about people based on their accents, sometimes unconsciously.
Yeah.
So it's important to be aware of those biases and just appreciate the richness and the diversity that accents bring to our world.
I completely agree. Accents really are a testament to the beauty of human diversity. They add color and texture to our communication. It reflects the multitude of ways in which we experience the world. I love how you frame that, accents as a celebration of our differences. It's a really powerful reminder to embrace the beauty of linguistic diversity and to kind of challenge any preconceived notions we may have.
Exactly. Instead of viewing accents as deviations from some sort of standard, we should celebrate them as unique expressions of identity and culture.
It's been a whirlwind tour of fascinating languages today, from that Hungarian grammar to those Exosa clicks.
It has.
We explored the incredible diversity and adaptability of human communication.
It's amazing, isn't it, how languages can shape our thoughts and even our perceptions and how we interact with the world. They're not just tools.
Right?
I mean, they're windows into different cultures, histories, ways of life.
It really makes you realize how much there is to learn and discover about the world through languages.
Yeah.
So of all the languages that we talked about today, which one sparked your curiosity the most?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I know, right?
I mean, they're all so fascinating, but I think I'm most intrigued by that Kushkoi whistled bird language.
Yeah.
The idea that people can communicate complex messages using just whistles across vast distances. It's incredible. It really shows our ability to adapt and innovate even in the most challenging environments.
I agree. And it highlights how important it is that we preserve these endangered languages, not just for the sake of diversity, but for the cultural knowledge and those unique perspectives that they embody.
Absolutely. Every language represents a unique way of understanding and interacting with the world. When we lose a language, we lose a valuable piece of human heritage.
So if our listeners feeling inspired to embark on their own linguistic adventure, what advice would you give them?
Follow your curiosity. Choose a language that really excites you, whether it's the sound of it, the cultural significance, or maybe even a connection to your personal heritage. I mean, there are so many resources available to help you get started, from online courses to language exchange programs, even immersive experiences. It's incredible what's out there these days.
Yeah, and don't forget about music, movies, connecting with native speakers. I mean, it's about making that language come alive and finding ways to integrate it into your everyday life.
For sure. The more you immerse yourself, the more you'll absorb it naturally.
Right.
And remember, it's a journey, not a race.
Right.
Embrace the challenges, celebrate the small victories, and enjoy the process of discovery.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure diving into the world of languages with you today. We've learned about complex grammar, unique sounds, endangered traditions, and how languages can impact our lives. Hopefully, we've inspired our listener to continue exploring this vast and fascinating world of human communication.
It's been a pleasure. Language is a gift, a bridge that connects us.
Across cultures and continents.
Exactly. Let's cherish it and continue to celebrate the beauty of linguistic diversity.
So well said. And to our listener, thank you for joining us on this linguistic adventure. We hope you enjoyed the journey and that you came away with a new appreciation for the power of language. Until next time, keep those minds curious and those ears open to the symphony of languages that surround us.